I grew up in, what is it called? Survival mode.
Yeah.
You know what I ate?
You really wonder how Esther is when she's drunk? Well, you only have to see her drink a beer and a half to find out.
Yeah.
She's fun, but also crazy and very much a lightweight. Keep both of these.
I used to be like really white girl wasted. I would just fall on the floor. I'm like, the floor loves me. I love the floor. Don't get me off the floor. I love the floor.
Dark Heart Wastes.
It's literally how it was. Now I'm just like,
I kind of feel like it's still how you are.
I love you. Yeah, that's true.
Is this spirits? I think I'm still shocking for my shadow, but...
Yes, okay, we know that they're lobster claws, but we're still gonna call them crab claws. Cause
I gotta focus, sweetheart, please. It's very, very tense. Shadow depths. Just the cross chatter is tough. Are we getting a shadow number 2 or are we going to get Giver of Runes? I think we're getting shadow number 2.
Crab claws, you said.
I didn't change. Yeah, I like the sideboard for the most part. At least it feels like a fun. Stop it. I think the sideboard was fine. Like I like the second Kaya, but it seemed like a good like initial sideboard for me to try out. I'm not really sure what's in their hand. Be nice to the crab shark. The crab shark's only goal is to distract as much as she can. So I'm pretty sure the line is to Bauble plus Tasigur here. Notably, +1 point to Tasigur over Angler, because it couldn't cast Angler this turn.
Shark crab wasn't always like this.
Can you donate to Esther's stream instead of Spikes? I keep showing her how to... You're sending her the link to make her own stream.
You know what? I'm just gonna freaking quit my job and...
That's what I did.
This is what I will become. Well,
you'll become the crab lady.
Yeah, this is what I will become. My metamorphosis is starting.
Are they blue-white taxes? Looks like they are.
I wish I was a paid actor. What am I getting paid? Zilch. I am Zoidberg. I am a broke person that loves food, attention.
Yeah, mostly attention.
Ah.
Alright, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to drown the Spellskite first. Because I want to attack with my Ranger-Captain here. And I'm just going to play 2 Shadows now so they can't Ghost Quarter me off of black mana. Not that they would, but just so they can't. Yikes! Spellstutter Sprite my Death Shadow. Well, it's kind of like just the best possible, right? Good thing we have a second one. Deputy of Detention. So we can Ranger-Captain for another Shadow this turn. We also have access to 4 mana to Fairy. They almost did something here with their Ghost Quarter. I'm not sure what they just tried to do there. Maybe they have a 2 mana non-creature spell in their hand. Modern is so all over the place. It's awesome. Yeah, they only have 4 points of power here, so I'm feeling relatively safe about taking this line. Ranger-Captain also blocks really well. Yeah, kind of hard to predict what's in their hand. It could just really be anything. Yeah, Esther is the embodiment of modern, just as chaotic and great. A good blend of chaos and great. Glad that one of their 2 cards is a land.
Your sweater smells clean.
I washed it yesterday. Average Joe gifting 10 subs to this channel. Sorry that the content's not better, but I appreciate you gifting the subs anyways, out of the kindness of your heart. I like playing Teferi here first, just making sure there aren't going to really be any surprises, and then we can bounce Thalia, make them chump block with their deputy. Does Esther play Magic at all? No, not really.
What is a magic?
She knows like of cards and stuff, but she made it halfway through the arena tutorial, which is good.
Really? Only got halfway through?
Not even halfway, I think.
No. That one game wasn't the whole tutorial?
No, because there's another game after it. I don't know. I haven't played the whole arena tutorial either, to be fair.
Because I'm aspiring Spike.
Okay, so we're playing against blue-white taxes. I kind of like at least the first Kaya.
Is it doing
I think I like the eliminate.
music for each sub he gifted?
Yeah, I'm gonna let it ride for a little bit, but I usually turn it off.
I was like, who is doing this? Please don't make me dance anymore. Please. I'm tired of dancing.
Yeah, maybe we would go down on some fairies. I kind of am down to play like the first rejection too.
I'm underpaid.
Just in case they are. It seemed like they're playing Eldrazi, right? They're playing all these Darkara wastes. Esther, why aren't you dancing?
Because I'm underpaid and overworked.
That's true.
I'm going on strike.
Quick chat, pay your boy. Just kidding. You don't have to dance. It's fine.
I'm not
Don't
dancing.
fall into the pressure.
I'm not dancing.
Yeah.
This isn't dancing.
Why is Esther just the literal embodiment of chaos? I don't know, but that's definitely my favorite thing about her. One of the reasons why I've always loved Esther so much is just how nuts she is. Thanks again, Average Joe, for 10 gifted subs. You guys have been awesome today. But Esther being chaotic is great in our day-to-day life and has made, surviving COVID way more enjoyable. But as far as a streaming partner, makes things a little hectic sometimes. You missed the welcome to the Shark Typhoon. You'll randomly say it at F&M. Awesome. Yeah, I thought about putting it in there. You can set it to where it randomly will do that. I might do that at some point, but right now I'm feeling these vibes. I think I'm keeping this.
It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
I feel like I haven't played this on stream in so long.
What's up, Spike?
Me, your friend, Aspiring... What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike. Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon. Today, we're playing Madcap John. Whoa! Is Madcap Experiment broken in Modern? Question mark. Let's find out today on the Shark Typhoon. What's up? It's me, your...
That was 7 months ago. Feel old yet?
7 months ago? This has been the Shark Typhoon for 7 months? Yes.
How was that 7 months ago? I have no idea.
Jeez. Yeah, in my mind it's still 2020. 2021, what is that?
You look a decade younger? I look a decade younger now or in the clip?
It's probably because you don't have those glasses on.
We went 3-2 with Vanifar, and then 4-1 with Blue-White, and our first match now up a game. Is Root Maze good spice for an Amulet Titan deck? Probably a little too narrow. I think I'm gonna play the Snapcaster Mage here. Like a decade younger in the clip, yeah. I feel a decade younger in the clip, probably. Is Drown good without Scour? I think you can play some amount of Drowns with just like cheap discard spells and removal spells. I think second Giver Down's pretty nice. Oh man. Do you feel like Vanifar had potential just to meme? I think it has potential. Like Vanifar feels like a one card combo. That lets you play like a lot of really good grindy cards and then some bad ones. But I think the deck has potential, yeah. I guess we lose. Gross. Are we playing this out? I think we're playing it out. It's just gonna be a little tricky to get there from here. Yeah, seeing more of their deck definitely does have value. It's good game 3 though. I think I've got the idea. Kind of feel like they're not playing Eldrazi. Maybe famous last words. But I think they're playing a Dark ways to facilitate a blue-white mana base that's also playing Lean and Arbiter is the current read that I have. It was also probably a mistake to board out or should not have some number of Teferis in against the Spellstutter Sprite deck. Would I play Amulet Titan in the league? Maybe. Like I've played plenty of Amulet Titan in my past. I think I could pilot it competently but not masterfully. But also, I'm not sure how exciting it would be to watch me play Amulet Titan. You know, there's some good content creators out there that's you know a big part of their stream, specifically Fran. I just don't know how interesting a league that would be, so I might decline that suggestion. I'm gonna keep this hand as Esther sits and cackles maniacally next to me.
My friend ordered chicken biscuits from Chick-fil-A and they didn't put chicken on them.
There's a basic island on top.
Oh.
Which maybe I'd actually be okay to draw here, but I think I'm not gonna draw it. Can you donate to narrate one of Fran's league where he's gone 0-5 or 4-1? Probably not, no. Found the basic island again. Kind of awkward to draw the basics though, not, you know, lands that damage ourselves, but whatever. Tasigur is kind of nice. Also nice to be able to Ranger-Captain with no Lean Arbiter in play. Would really dislike it if my opponent, you know, Viled an Arbiter and Ghost Quartered my Black Source though. Yep, I do this. I do dislike this.
Do you want to see a pitbull puppy playing with a cat?
No, I want to stream Magic the Gathering.
Oh, you want to do your job?
An awkward match. I know that they can block and give pro white here, which is fine. Because if they start attacking, they can start damaging us for our shadows, and we'll just, you know, draw a black source eventually, right? We also mulled a 5 this game. Mutavault is interesting. So we draw a black fetch land. We can pay for Arbiter and put a shadow into play. The problem is they have another Ghost Quarter. Alright, Tasigur got a bit worse. It's kind of like the only card that Rest in Peace is good against. I guess notice we have Snapcasters and Drowns, never mind. This is the only other non-black source in the deck. I'm not saying the deck maybe plays too many non-black sources, but that's the only other one. This is painful. It hurts me. This deck should run Urborg. Urborg would be pretty nuts. Did I even get to cast any black spells? No, I didn't. Shouldn't have said black spells. Yeah, I mean, my opponent seems to be light on resources too. I know that these turns seem like they're just taking forever, which they are. But if we just draw a black source next turn, we're really not in bad shape. They're not firing up Mutavault. Maybe I'll get lucky and they'll Ghost Quarter me. Never mind. So now a fetch land doesn't work, because Lean and Arbiter is a magic card. Kind of. This deck is interesting. I think we need to keep our captain back now. I wonder if it's just Spellstutter Sprite. I guess they have Mutavault too. They also drew triple a Darkar Waste this game. Alright, tough stuff. Off to a shaky start. Did win game 1. We rolled a 5 that game, but sounds fine though. Is there any world where I play Serum? What card could I see on top with Mishra's Bauble that would make me want to play Serum Visions on turn 1 over Giver of Runes? I can't really think of anything. So I think I'm just going to Godless Shrine, and then I'll cycle the Bauble on my opponent's turn. My opponent's mulled to 6. Thinking about going to 5. No need to play Giver on turn 1. I mean, getting it into play on turn 1 I think is important. Thoughtseize Inquisition? Maybe. You might want to cast 2 1-drops next turn. Well, we can off of Serum. I mean, so like the thing is with this basic island, which is just I think one of the worst cards in the deck. Oh no! Oh, sorry. I forgot how Hideaway worked. This is the inverter deck. No, now we know that. I think that it's unlikely that we get to play 2 spells because we have this, silly basic island. That if we don't play the Serum Visions this last turn. I probably do want to fetch this turn. So I think we're going to fetch up Hallowed Fountain. And then Inquisition my opponent. Angel's Grace, Talisman of Dominance. Yeah, we're just going to take the Talisman. I think we go bottom. I'm mostly looking for another fetch land here, I think. Probably a great matchup. So they played the Gemstone Mine. They have one unknown card that notably could be known. Their top card is Pintad Prism. Pretty good for them. Yeah, I also think cutting the Hex Parasite, it feels like a mistake to me. Drown is interesting in this matchup where they can exile their graveyard with Inverter, right? I mean, they're probably playing Pintad Prism this turn. I don't think we're supposed to Ranger-Captain. In fact, the Ranger-Captain does make their Jace... If they just play Inverter, their Jace gets, real weird. And his Unlife, Inverter, Angel's Grace, Jace Wielder of Mysteries, Pintad Prism. Oh, sorry, not the Unlife. But Unlife could be under Shellduck Isle. Yeah, now I've got a Esper Triome. Thank you, Urborg. Very cool. Gonna quietly hold up black mana here. I don't think that we need to leave back Giver. I think it was take the extra damage here. They just don't have spot removal. And then if they play Inverter, things are weird for them because we can just sack Ranger-Captain, which should kill them, right? Oh no, that's not true because they have the Shellduck Isles to maybe go off with. Yeah, I think that they can afford to Inverter here. So they Inverter, and then we get to Ranger-Captain Sacrifice the following turn. And then if they don't get to do anything that turn, what they can do is the following turn upkeep Angel's Grace so they don't die to not decking themselves, and then they can play Jace Wielder of Mysteries. Yeah, I think Rakdos is currently the most played Shadow deck, although there has been a resurgence of Grixis Death Shadow lately. Played against some slow opponents today. Opponent decides not to play Inverter, which I am thrilled about. Great draw. Great draw. Yeah, we just take this Inverter of Truth. Plans to ever start playing Legacy on stream? Not maybe. I kind of want to play some more Ant, yeah. I want to try some Wishclaw Talisman Ant soon. But, I don't... I go where the wind takes me. If I want to play Legacy on a day, I'll play Legacy. But I don't have a specific day planned out where I'm going to choose to start playing Legacy, Is Uro seeing play in Legacy? Yeah, it's one of the best cards in Legacy, honestly. Although it got a bit worse, I think, with the banning of Arkham's Astrolabe, just like Uro got a bit worse in Modern with the banning of Arkham's Astrolabe, because it's pretty easy to get wastelanded off of Uro now, I think. That would at least be my impression. So my opponent is going to go to 1, using a copy of Angel's Grace here. I think my opponent should have cast the Inverter. They're probably a bit confused as to exactly what we're doing, but... Could you have taken the Angel's Grace if they play Inverter? Maybe. I'm pretty scared of these Shelldock Isles though, if I don't take the Inverter. Any chance I want to upkeep sack this Ranger-Captain? I kind of do. We know their hand is Jace Mystery card, and just like not letting them get a redraw Angel's Grace with Jace seems good. And it's not like we really need the 3/3 body anymore. Alright, up a game. Ceremonious Rejection, very, very good. Teferi seems strong as well. Is Spellbomb good against Inverter? I know that it was fine in Pioneer, like that kind of effect. I'm just not sure. I think I am going to go ahead and cut the non-Bloodchief's Thirst removal. I do like the Bloodchief's Thirst can kill Jace. Could maybe see playing Disdainful Stroke too. Kind of down to cut Lurrus. Lurrus seems maybe a bit too slow. Seems like the worst 3-drop in this matchup. Maybe Thirst is too much mana though. We could play Kaya's Guile actually. Kaya's Guile instant speed exiling our opponent's graveyard could just steal a game. I'll play 1 Kaya's Guile. How good is Drown when you aren't built around the Into the Story requirement? It's decent. I think that if you... It is good enough to play if you have like a lot of discard spells, which this list does have. I don't know, I think Kaya's Guile's better in this format than it was in the previous one, where decks seem to be a bit more linear, you know, like Burn and Dredge are both like pretty popular decks, and so in Prowess and Kaya's Guile is good against all those decks. But Kaya's Guile definitely does not shine in grindy matchups, which is awkward for like a 3-mana instant, you know. Why not 2 Kaya's Guile? I think it's more narrow than you might think. They have a lot of ways to beat it. I also really, really do not want to draw 2 copies. Yeah, opponents definitely... We've had a lot of really slow opponents today, which is always tough when I have got like 4 donation decks to do. It'll be fine. I'm going to keep this hand for sure. And I'm probably going to fetch and shock on turn 1, so that if I draw another fetch land, I can play a shadow on turn 2. You haven't had as many mana issues as I have today. Well, I think that like mana issues definitely are a part of this deck, you know? You have some hard mana requirements, and like really I think the reality is if you don't draw basics and you just draw fetch lands, your mana base is much better. I think you have to play the basics, but and sometimes you're just going to draw them. You know what? Maybe I should be leaving up Rejection here to counter a Mana Rock. Let me actually do that. Play around Tail's End. Yeah, Serum Visions helping smooth things out does seem very relevant. I agree that Visions is better than Thought Scour in this deck. Perfect. Any plans to play Squirrel Blade today, tomorrow? Well, today on Donation Deck Thursday, I do not. I just play I just have donation decks today, but I might play Scrollblade tomorrow. Yeah, it's also a favorite of mine. Pretty sure we're supposed to take the spoils with them having both Unlife and Angel's Grace. Probably not bouncing the Unlife this turn, but I'm gonna play Teferi and plus. The instant speed on Earth has been one of my favorite lines with this deck. It's not 0% that we lose this turn, but very unlikely, I think. Yeah, this is definitely an excellent matchup. Wishclaw Talisman. I might just bounce that and drown it on the way down. I'm gonna fetch and shock first. They can't activate in response, can only activate at sorcery speed. Now I'll get to cast this. I think we take Talisman over Oracle there, where my opponent's just like not going to cast the Oracle this turn unless they draw spoils, and if they do have spoils, they have to main phase spoils before they Oracle, and then we'll just counter the Oracle and win. And then if we don't need to use our mana to drown in the Loch their play this turn, we can cycle Unearth, which is kind of nice. They are playing Oracle? Yeah, I wasn't really expecting this, but it also just doesn't need to be countered here. Is there a reason Oops isn't played anymore? I've seen some people are playing Oops. I actually think Oops All Spells is probably the best like linear combo deck in the format. It's possible people don't enjoy playing Oops very much, but I'm not sure how big a factor something like that is. Imagine playing this game for fun. Can't relate. Yeah, Ranger-Captain, pretty good draw step, huh? Dude, if we had, we could remove a Gemstone Mine counter if we had the Hex Parasite to get. Pretty hot. But they should be dead next turn to the Teferi bounce on Unlife. Tapping for red. Blue. Well, countering this wins the game, probably. And his Angel's Grace mystery card. But what we can do is we attack them, sack Ranger-Captain, then bounce on life. Although we don't even need to sack the Captain, because if they do cast the Angel's Grace... Oh, you have a Veil of Summer? You know, Teferi does ravel a lot of fun, but it also ravels some unfun cards like Veil of Summer. Trying to learn good sequencing is a great way to get better. And also saying that it just doesn't matter is a good way to get sloppy and not do things by habit in the future. But you'll often see me like just saying that X or Y doesn't matter and taking kind of the lazier line. And that is largely because I try to keep the stream quick and fast paced if I can. Taking Search for Tomorrow, right? Oh no, Search for Tomorrow is getting countered by with these Teferis. Taking Dryad Courser? Yeah, taking Courser. So like yeah, you'll often see me, play like not super tight sequencing if the line is still 100% to win and a little bit faster, I'll take that line. I'm not saying that that's a good habit to get into. It's just a habit I'm into to try to keep the stream faster paced if I can. We might just get a concession to Teferi Time Raveler here. Would state-based actions be checked after a Mana Vault trigger? Yeah, I believe that state-based actions are checked after every trigger, right? I don't actually know exactly how it works. We're drawing a Thoughtseize. I think a Thoughtseize is a fine draw. I'm going to keep it. Had some slow opponents today. You've given up on winning this matchup. Fran has ruined you. Well, this isn't actually... This is not that matchup. This is Titan Shift. But also that matchup is fine. You know, it is a bit of a bummer that they found their land. When we would definitely love to be able to, you know, make sure neither suspend spell comes down. So my opponent's hand is Search for Tomorrow's Summer's Pact, Primeval Titan, Dryad of the Elysian Grove, which is not a very strong hand here. Although they might just spend next turn hardcasting Search for Tomorrow. But Teferi ravels the fun of Search for Tomorrow. They're just not playing anything? It seems very wrong. Yeah, the draw step Thoughtseize is pretty sweet. Not 100. Oh, we'll see what we draw. We'll see what they do. I'm not 100% sure that's what we're going to be doing, but it's very cool. Like, it might be better to play Ranger-Captain plus Shadow this next turn. Although now that we know that their hand is Summer's Pact, Dryad, Primeval Titan, we might actually need to go draw step Thoughtseize, snap Thoughtseize, so that my opponent can't Titan us next turn. So it is Dryad, Soccer Tribe Elder, Titan, Summoner's Pact. So yeah, so let me just go ahead and take just the Titan right now. And if they Summoner's Pact, that's fine, because they can't Titan us this turn. But then we'll snap Thoughtseize probably end of turn after they have a little less information about what's going to happen. And we are called to another top deck Titan, as you often are in these matchups, right? Can you even double Teferi? Yes, Teferi says just any sorcery you cast until your next turn can be cast at instant speed. Could have maybe cast Inquisition, but I'd rather grow the shadows. So if we fetch and shock, we go down to 4 life and make the shadows 9/9s. So if my opponent takes this hit, that's probably what we want to do. I would love to trade here. Oh my gosh, that's so good for us. My opponent just can't top deck Titan. Yeah, I don't really see a big difference between being at 4 and being at 3, so I'm just going to fetch and shock. Honestly, cannot believe my opponent traded there. That was, I think, a poor play. I think they overthought it. Yeah, top deck Valakut also lethal, but now with just Dryad in their hand, if they draw Valakut, they can put me to 1. I can bounce their Dryad with Teferi. Not sacking Ranger Captain because I need it to actually deal 22 next turn if I don't have another way to grow the shadows. Our draw was really, really good this game, and like especially getting that extra value, stopping the suspend was super nice. I guess I could have exactly Lightning Bolt here. So why don't I go ahead and at least Serum Visions first, looking at, like, if we draw Drown in the Loch, we can stop Lightning Bolt. Or it's a Fairy number 2. But if they had Bolt, they would also just have main phased it, so never mind. You can snap IOK. Oh yeah, that would also play around Bolt here. That would have been a better line. My opponent also just doesn't have it. Although I guess silent clearing, just tapping, also plays around Bolt. But just the fact they didn't main phase it just means I'm not really worried about them having it. So we're getting Ceremonious Rejection in this matchup. Don't have too much else. Forge-Tender is probably fine. But not good. If they actually get to cast a prime time, it's a big problem. I think this is my sideboard plan. Later, Simon. Thanks for dropping by. No Knight of the Ebon Legion? I kind of don't think Knight is good, but I could be wrong. It's Donation Deck Thursday, you know? So not every choice is one I would be making naturally. I think I'm keeping this. Do you think Charlotte's Agent could ever find its way into Modern? I don't know, maybe. I'm kind of sick of suspend spells, though, if I'm being honest. After this Valky nonsense, it's kind of off of it. They have a Summoner's Pact on top. Am I throwing in Knight? I don't know. Another hand where I've drawn 2 basic lands. Feels really bad. Is Knight of the Ebon Legion good? I have no idea. Probably taking this Courser, right? They're drawing Summoner's Pact next turn. I'm kind of tempted to take Explorer, but I'm also like pretty scared of that Courser of Crucifix. Is Heartless Act played in Modern? Heartless Act. That's the 2-mana removal spell. I mean, yeah, some people play that as a sideboard card. Or I'm sure some, Black Mage has it in the deck. It's not the most unreasonable card to play. The next turn, or they're this turn now off of this Explorer, they're drawing Obstinate Baloth. So they don't have any more lands in their hand. How can we make you play a donation deck? Well, here's the information on the donation decks here. If you !point dono. I do veto some lists. Especially for the this hasn't really happened that often, but for the $50 redemption option, if I just can't figure out your idea, if I work on it and I just can't get a good list together, I'll veto it, and just refund you after you donate. I've only had to do that like once or twice. I just want to make sure expectations are managed a little bit, and so that I'm not going to guarantee breaking your pet card, but I can guarantee that I'll do my best. So Giver of Runes can eat the Soul Seer, which is nice. I don't really like this card. I guess this is their answer to Gurmag Angler. I'd rather play like Eldin Gargaroth, I don't know. Would I do Dono deck for Seance while I buy it out? Maybe. I'd probably do a Seance Dono deck one. But honestly, if I knew that like your intention was to profit off of Seance, I'd decline and refund you. Like honestly, like specifically that card. I don't know if I want to be a part of those shenanigans. There's casting Summoner's Pact. Is this for Sakura Tribe Elder? It's for Tracker? So they drew a land. Okay, they drew a land. Kind of weird though. This makes sense. Yeah, if we had Fulminator Mage or something like that, we'd just win. Alright, so Hoping my opponent doesn't draw land. Their current hand is Soul Seer, Obstinate Baloth, Primeval Titan. And thankfully they didn't draw a land. That's really, really good for us. That's an interesting draw. Do you want to bounce the tracker or bounce this clue token? Let me attack first. I agree that this deck should play Hex Parasite. I've definitely missed it. And it did used to play Hex Parasite, but I've been missing it today. I think I'm bouncing the clue token. Then is Soul Seer, Primeval Titan, Obstinate Baloth, non-land spell, spell, and a new mystery card. That's probably not a land at this point if they haven't just immediately played it. Our line of bouncing the clue definitely wants us to... Oh no. So I guess they're going to sack the clue now. If they draw a land off of this, it's pretty bad. Specifically a fetch land. Soul Seer kills Ashiok. Ah, that's a good reasoning. Yeah, I like that. It's cool. So we need to find another Thoughtseize. Or potentially a way to drown into the Loch the Titan. Or Snapcaster for the Thoughtseize in our graveyard. Or we could Thoughtseize the Obstinate Baloth, maybe. I feel like Beast Within is bad. I don't know. I've always disliked that Beast Within just... Like, you just die to the 3/3 so often, I think. Well, I did find Drown, so if we draw Inquisition off Serum Visions, we can kill the tracker. Just do a fetch land, though. So when my opponent plays Primeval Titan next turn, they can get one Valakut trigger, unless they also have drawn another mountain. Maybe they'll block with their tracker. And we'll get to put another card in their yard for Drown. Oh no, I meant to fetch. Oh my gosh. What a huge mistake. Sorry. Obviously meant to fetch there. Kind of looking at chat. Giver can protect from Valakut, yes. They also can't get zombie tokens, which is huge here. And so if they just play Primeval Titan next turn, they only have one blocker, and they're still, I believe, dead. If they didn't draw a land. They did draw a land, but it's not a mountain, so I don't think that actually changes anything. And it does allow them to crack a clue. Scapeshift was the one unknown card. Fair enough. Well, at least the damage didn't matter. I don't think we're supposed to play around Landscape Shift as the two unknown cards. Get to be on the play for game 3. I'm gonna bring in an Eliminates. See Courser and Tracker and Dryad. I'm also gonna keep this. I know that we don't have a black source, but ideally we can Serum Visions into one. And double Thoughtseize plus Snapcaster for Thoughtseize is a good hand in this matchup. Just need to draw a black source. How do I feel about an Esper Stoneblade list with a focus on hand disruption over counter spells? I dislike it. I think counter spells are better in Stoneblade than discard spells. Do I think Spyro is getting a reprint anytime soon? Well, if I told you yes or if I told you no, both answers would just not be grounded in any kind of reality, so I won't tell you yes or no. It would just be a wild guess either way. Well, feels bad. We still have one more look at a black source. Like, we're really pretty favored to see one after one land Serum Visions, but some bad beats for sure. But also, I do think that we're still seeing that this deck's mana is questionable at best and maybe just not very good at all. Well, better late than never. If we can hit runner, that's going to be good. Opponent's hand is Valakut, Obstinate Baloth, Elder Gargaroth, Primeval Titan. Thank goodness we can Thoughtseize the Obstinate Baloth next turn. But we do have a Thoughtseize for the Gargaroth and the Titan, and a Fatal Push for the Baloth. Dude, imagine if they had just Beast within my land. Runner? Not runner. So obviously take Obstinate Baloth here because it's their 4-drop. Oh no, I misclicked. Meant to take the Baloth here. Should have taken the Baloth. It's just better to get it into play now so you can Fatal Push it later once you draw a fetch land. Did I see the Mardu Stoneblade did? I did see that Mardu Stoneblade deck. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Deck definitely looks really interesting. Okay, so do I want to snap Thoughtseize? Do I want to Thoughtseize, hold up Drown? I think I'm going to snap Thoughtseize. And this time I'll take the Obstinate Baloth, of course. Like, my opponent doesn't have 6 mana for Primeval Titan anyways, so it's probably, yeah, and I'm lucky my opponent drew the Farseek so that they didn't have to cast the Baloth last turn. Wait, did I click Primeval Titan? Me and my fat fingers. Sorry about that. I meant to take the Baloth again, but I mean, now it's in play. She's been hanging out in here a bunch lately. It's been good.
I'm going. You can check my text to where.
Okay. I think we're doing okay. I think I'm gonna chump block the Baloth and then push it on their end of turn. Yeah, fun joke for the 15th time. Yeah, is it getting probably is one that's getting less funny each time, huh? Well, I'm sure there were some people who didn't realize I was joking. Well, to be fair, like, nobody pays 100% attention to streams, right? We're all just half watching. I think I just snap Inquisition. I mean, if I snap Inquisition, they're just going to Soul Seer. Maybe it's better just to get my Lurrus Soul Seared. Because a Snapcaster on Drown is kind of nice. They're not Soul Searing my Lurrus. Wow. Are they just top decking Primeval Titan? Farseek. Play Giver. I mean, Giver is just so mana inefficient. Giver is so incredibly mana inefficient if that's our whole play this turn. I'm not that interested in playing Giver there. And so we can just hold up Snap Drown. I think that's fine. I will snap. I'll Snap Drown Soulseer probably. We can also push our own Snapcaster and replay it off Lurrus if we're kind of desperate. Valakut is turned on? Oh, you're right. I think we still do this. Is Lurrus main good? Yeah, I think Lurrus is good. So yeah, all of their, I mean, they can draw their second forest, they can draw Castle Garenbrig, they can draw Valakut, although Valakut's a scary draw. So yep, scary draw confirmed. Interesting. Yeah, if we had Bauble here, Lurrus would be so much better, of course, of course. He drew a Death Shadow. I probably do want to draw Ranger-Captain. Now, do I want to play Giver of Runes or do I want to play Death Shadow here? Guess I want to play the Giver. If I play Shadow, it just dies to the mountain, right? And next turn we can play Ranger-Captain, Shadow, Shadow. Second their upkeep. And then they should be lethal. I mean, they can. If I sack the Ranger-Captain and my opponent draws a mountain, it's really bad. Oh, we went 4-1 with the card list earlier back. I don't think it's the best way to build blue-white, but it definitely feels like a way to build blue-white. All right, to sack Ranger-Captain or not to sack. I guess I also have Dryad as a bad draw. I think I'm gonna sack. Just like blanking Farseeks and Scape Shift seems worth it to me. Although this does mean if they just draw a mountain, like we could have killed them next turn. But this ended up being the line that won. Advancing to 2-1 despite some shaky mana problems. And I would probably cut the path for the second copy of Bloodchief's Thirst too, but you know I'm pretty low on path at the moment. Looks like a store matchup, which is probably very good for this deck. Also nice that we can play Death Shadow on turn 2 here. Have I ever brewed around Sky Hussar? I've had a donation brew end up with Sky Hussar in it. But the real idea was Martyr of Frost plus Lurrus was the donation suggestion, and Sky Hussar ended up being in that deck. Double Remand is actually pretty scary here. Also, I think I'm just going to take Grave Shot. This way I can actually play a Shadow next turn. Otherwise, it just Grave Shot my Shadow. You added the second Giver because of me. Yeah, I mean, it hasn't felt bad, but like maybe just keeping it just as the Ranger-Captain target is better. Like, maybe you either play 4 Giver or you play 1 Giver. And not anywhere in between. That could just be how the deck is meant to be built. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't think they could remand this. Obviously, they probably are. We just replay it. Would love, love, love to get to Bloodchief's Thirst Baral next turn and play Tasigur. Oh my gosh, sorry. Sorry, obviously I needed to fetch first. It's twice today. I'm going to play the Ranger-Captain here. I know it's like super remandable. In fact, they kind of just have to remand it, but we'll get the second remand out of their hand, and they can't Solundi Vision me. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit better too. I'm still like a little under the weather, but not as bad as it was this morning. Drown into Loch is really interesting. So we can hit them for 7, play Tasigur with Drown up. Should be good enough, right? Do I like Burgi and Give Storm? Yeah, I think the first copy is good to play. Like, it's a pretty powerful effect. Being both a card advantage engine and a mana generator is a super unique and powerful thing. Not that it's not the best mana generator and it's not the best card advantage engine, but the fact that it can be both is really cool to me. And Burgi also seems pretty good as because you can gifts for Baral, Electromancer, and Burgi, and just make sure that you get a mana generator in your hand. Put a Gifts Ungiven into their hand. Should have left Thoughtseize in the yard for Shadow, Snappy. I mean, we have Bauble in the graveyard for Lurrus, but I don't think it's going to matter a ton either way. But we have Lurrus in our hand and not Snapcaster, you know. I mean, main phase Gifts Ungiven just resolves. This doesn't do anything. This is just 4 mana concede, right? Do you like Tasigur over the fish? In some decks, I think like Tasigur costing 1 less to delve has already been relevant today. I think you can play both and it's going to be like just it's not going to matter a ton. Well, 4 mana concede. That was so weird. I don't know why that happened. I really dislike Path against Shadow or against Storm. I think I'm cutting the Lurrus. I'm kind of down to play the Eliminate. I could probably cut Giver number 2 for Plague Engineer. This Stroke is so narrow. It only counters Gifts and Past in Flames. I think I'm not bringing it in. This hand's medium, but Ranger-Captain's really strong, and I think I'll keep kind of on the back of this card, you know. Kaya's Guile for Exile. I mean, we already have Spellbombs. Kaya's Guile is way less efficient than Spellbomb. And I do think that, you know, some amount of Graveyard Hate is fine against Storm. They can beat Graveyard Hate pretty easily, and it's also pretty easy to go overboard on your Graveyard Hate against Storm and just have them ignore it. Would love to leave a mana generator in their hand. They don't have one. It's going to take remand, I think. Yeah, but I think one copy of Burgi is good at Gift Storm. Now, I've had that opinion for a while, but it felt pretty boring to actually, you know, like stream. This is my Gift Storm deck, and I've got one Burgi from the new set. I'm going to hold up Eliminate / flash in a Snapcaster here. Obviously, we need to draw 1 land. We were on the draw. Haven't found the land yet. Playing Burgi as a mana generator kind of feels bad. Maybe. I don't know if that's exactly how true it is. Like the fact that Burgi makes mana off of your cantrips while Baral and Electromancer don't is pretty exciting to me. In that way, Burgi is actually a bit more powerful. But once you have one floating red mana, it's like she does reduce the cost, you know? In fact, she also plays really well when you have when you have Brawl or Electromancer in play too, and you already have that one cost reducer. Something else to note. Is Bloodchief's Thirst only as playable as Ren is? No, I don't think that that's true. I wouldn't say that. But also Rin is always going to be very playable, so it's not like that even matters so much. Alright, looks like an Empty the Warrens, and we have the Plague Engineer in our hand. Guess it's not definitely Empty the Warrens. Okay, just the gifts. Kind of just prefer including Noxious Revival for the guaranteed generator off Storm. I think that that's worse, but whatever, right? Don't really feel like arguing that's like a particular point. I think I'm gonna graveyard the Pass in Flames, actually. I think I'm graveyarding Manamorphose, Pass in Flames, and hoping to draw a land for Ranger-Captain. Hell yeah, awesome. So now if they flash back their Pass in Flames, we just get to sack the Ranger-Captain. And they only get now because the Pass in Flames is in the graveyard, them just casting it from their hand doesn't threaten the flashback from the graveyard next turn. Yeah, I agree that Burgie is worse than Electromancer or Baral, but I think as like the 9th effect, I think it's worth playing. Probably something that you have to play a lot of matches with. I know that Caleb has been playing a Burgie and Storm, and you know Caleb is the resident Storm guru, of course. Yeah, I haven't seen much control. I haven't played against much control the last few days, but deck is definitely still around. We just don't need to respond to the ritual here, by the way. We just respond to the Pass in Flames. I think that they know that too. They're just making me do it. So they have one Desperate Ritual in their hand and then 3 unknown cards. Or I guess they have a Pyretic Ritual too. So 1 unknown card. They're at 12 life. Good draw. I think I cited out the Unearthed Panda. I know they're so good with Ranger-Captain, but it feels kind of difficult to leave in too many Unearths in this kind of matchup. Flashing in the Snapcaster on 2 also paid off big time. Maybe I didn't need to sack. Maybe I could have waited for them to play a land there. Okay, I'm hoping my opponent goes for Empty the Warrens because I would love to Plague Engineer them. But it feels really good to have Empty the Warrens insurance right now. So my opponent's hand, I believe, is Ritual Mystery card. Yes, awesome. All right, I feel pretty confident that my opponent will just concede to a Plague Engineer here. It's honestly not even unbeatable, just 8 goblins here. Yeah. Alright, battling back after losing to the Modern Menace blue-white taxes. We've climbed up to 3-1 with Esper Shadow. Playing 2 really... Keeping this for sure, this hand's great. Playing against Jigata, the Wellspring. I think I'm going to bubble myself. I really don't want to draw a land. There's a Ranger-Captain on top, so I will happily leave that there. I guess this is Jeskai Ascendancy combo. I'll just take an opt. their hand is very clearly very good against Thoughtseize, but also probably a good matchup for us, right? So they like their card on top, so it's probably a land. Yeah, I think we have a good matchup and a good hand here, so I'm feeling good. Feeling good right now. Put a card on the bottom. I think I'm just fetching right now. I'm gonna get a fountain. Don't really feel like my opponent plays counter spells, but maybe we'll find out. I think we're just gonna see them double thought scour themselves. Build over path. If this is somehow not just Sky Ascendancy, I'm gonna be shook. Yeah, Ranger-Captain is a great Magic card. Oh boy. Huh. Is this somehow not just Sky Ascendancy? Opponent's top card is Serum Visions. Usually play Ranger-Captain 3 over Teferi. I think this is a bit better. I don't know. Like we get to go Ranger-Captain into Shadow, although we could go Teferi into Shadow next turn, I guess. This Teferi is also just like a shield against them tapping out for Ascendancy because you just get to bounce it. Is all that needs to get printed to save ad nauseam a legendary 0-drop? Maybe, yeah. Right now there's Risk the Redeemed, which makes their combo 7 mana. At sorcery speed. Which is much worse than 6 mana at instant speed. Much worse. Also, just having Monkey in the deck is much better too. Do I think Silent Clearing should be in the deck? Yeah, absolutely. I think Silent Clearing is great in this deck. So probably going to go Snap Thoughtseize into Giver plus Shadow. I have a etched or foil whatever Rogue Rack, whatever that card's called. That I'm very proud of. It is Underworld Breach. Wow. I feel like I don't need to take this breach though. Well, I guess I'm dead if they draw Grinding Station. Yeah, we can just go Serum Visions plus Giver here instead of casting the Shadow. Kill Royer, thank you for your Twitch Prime subscription. I hope that you're having a good day today. They have so many cantrips. Oh, they double bolt. Yes. Well, they don't have a bolt in. Oh, they do have a bolt in their graveyard. Forgot that was a line. They put 2 cards on the top, which is scary. They probably should path my Giver right now, so I can't kill their Teferi. How did yesterday's Urza deck wind up? Feeling good. We went 11-4. Gingerbread Cabin was great all day. I would really recommend messing around with the list if you like Urza lists. Yeah, they need to path my Giver, right? Yeah, this was a mistake, I think. I think we're going for the draw step Thoughtseize. It's never minusing this Teferi. I know this puts us into bolt range. We have Drown for the bolt or Thoughtseize for the bolt. They are playing Jeskai Ascendancy, which is not very good for them to tap out for. I'm just going to take their path. And I'll Drown Teferi if they play it, and I'll minus on anything else. Me too, Royer, me too. Always glad to see people from the YouTube popping in. Alright, 1-game-1 against Jeskai, Underworld Breach. Definitely a really good league for this deck to play against 3 combo decks. Definitely what you want to see when you fire up Shadow. I'm going to bring in the Spell Bombs. Celestial Purge deals with Jeskai Ascendancy or Underworld Breach. Probably worth to bring in a couple copies. They're probably just in on Fate Stitcher. So I think I'm down to trim on spot removal. I do want the eliminate for the 3-mana Teferi as well. Probably go down to 1 Unearth. Do we want Kaya's Guile? Kaya's Guile kills Sylvan Carry too if they're on that. Yeah, Kaya's Guile kind of seems sick. I missed this path. Maybe we should cut the Lurrus too. Yeah, I mean, if they have Mentor, we have Teferi, Drown, Eliminate, discard spells. I mean, Kaya's Guile can maybe not have a hard time snagging Mentor. Yeah, I think Kaya's Guile is pretty good, actually, against them. Yeah, Exile their graveyard is big. Yeah, Kaya's Guile literally good in all situations, always. This hand's probably not proactive enough. This hand seems better to me. I think I will put back the Kaya's Guile. We have Spellbomb as some graveyard hate. We haven't Thoughtseize during our opponent's upkeep, but we have a Thoughtseize during our opponent's draw step. They have an Engineered Explosives on top, which is good in this matchup. I think I'm still Thoughtseizing right now. Take Scary Teferi. There's a Silent Clearing on top, which I would like to draw. But I would also like for them to remand this. And if they remand this, I think I'm just not gonna replay it this turn. Okay, they didn't remand. We know they have remand, which is gonna be good against my Ranger-Captain. Any thought to cycling Spellbomb here? Probably not. Maybe should have got a tap land here, though, to try not to get burned out. With double Silent Clearing, our shadow should be big enough, right? Do you think Shadow Spirit could be decent? Scrollblade tech against other Scrollblade decks, or is Shadow Spirit just bad in non-hammer decks? I mean, if you're trying to kill Toski and you're playing, like, if you're playing white, you should probably just be playing Exile-based removal to beat up on Toski instead of Shadow Spear. It's like, if you're playing Bant Squirrelblade specifically, or blue-white, all of your removal exiles anyways, so playing Shadow Spear to give your Toski unindestructible just doesn't make much sense. I know that like you get to block it, which is nice, but I still just don't think you really want it. It's like Manriki Gusari is probably like the better techie sideboard card for the Stoneblade Mirrors anyways. EE on 1. I guess I actually probably want. Maybe I should have Thoughtseize first. They have a bolt in their hand. They have 2 bolts, so we have to take 1. Yikes. Wow, their hand is so freaking stacked. We can gain 4 life with Kaya's Guile, though. Hand is so stacked. They drew a Flooded Strand, so they can play Monastery Mentor plus 1 mana removal spell here, either Path or Bolt. And then if we unearth the Ranger-Captain, we're walking right into this Engineered Explosives. Oh, I thought they bolted the Ranger-Captain. Oh, no. I thought they bolted the Ranger-Captain. Oh, what a huge punt. Big yikes. Alright, game 3. Alright, I think I'm going to cut the Purges to play Teferi number 4 and then 1 copy of Fatal Push. Yeah, I'm not sure we were winning anyways, but throwing away the Mentor or the Captain means I think we just definitely can't win. I'll try to keep this. Probably leading on Fountain. Uh-oh. Earlier we kept a 1 land, 1 Serum Visions hand. And it didn't pan out that well, but this time had 2 Serum Visions. I think it was a keep. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Come on, not like this. How many looks is that? 9? 10 on, this is gonna be our 10th look on the draw, right? We miss on this, like, this 9th or so each Serum Visions is effectively 4, right? No. Our draw step, draw a card from Serum Visions, scry 2 to the bottom. Next draw step, draw off Serum Visions, scry 2 to the bottom. Yes, we have 8 looks, and this is going to be our 9th. Serum is 3. Serum is, I mean, for your second land, Serum is 4. Serum Visions mocking us here. Just no lands. Right, because you draw off Serum Visions, then you scry 2 to the bottom, and then you have your 4th look for the draw step. So draw step, Serum Visions draw, 2 to the bottom, next draw step, Serum Visions draw, 2 to the bottom, next draw step, Serum Visions draw, 2 to the bottom. So we're at 12 looks without seeing a land. And if we draw a land on like this 13th look, we still have like a decent chance to win. Okay. Wild. Also, we're shuffling a lot of non-lands back in. Alright, Underworld Breach, Thoughtscour, Bolts. I think I'm just taking Thoughtscour. Sorry, I didn't mean to F6. The Spellbomb makes those breaches much worse. Also, I feel like I'm kind of confused on how their deck actually combos. It kind of feels like they're just playing a lot of these cards for value. We haven't seen a single creature that works with Jeskai Ascendancy yet. We've just seen Jeskai Ascendancy. I know there's an EE on one, but then we just sack and then we exile their whole graveyard. And then their breaches don't do anything. Well, that was a really good top deck, especially because it lines up so well against my Tasigur, which I was hoping to be the card I could play to beat this EE on one. Other non-land. We didn't go first, so my math is one off. I was counting myself being on the draw, doing my, you know, salt counting for how many land drops I missed. The fact that they minused on my Giver of Runes is huge, so now I can actually play Tasigur. Their hand is Underworld Breach, oh wow, they're just... This is weird, right? They're just taking this breach as a draw 2, I guess? No, they have to exile their Mishra's Bauble, so this is just 3 mana draw 1. But they hit Fate Stitcher, which is good for them. So maybe we play Ranger-Captain this turn. We can play Ranger-Captain, we can snap Thoughtseize the second Underworld Breach. Probably just want to play Ranger-Captain. Ranger-Captain also attacks the Teferi if they don't bolt it. They'll just bolt it, but whatever, right? We have a Fatal Push for that. We don't have Revolt. Have to draw another fetch land, I guess. I guess we can get Revolt by sacking my Ranger-Captain if they don't bolt the Ranger-Captain right now. We know they have a bolt in their hand. So I'm just going to attack their Teferi first. Now we go Fatal Push Monastery Mentor. Play Giver, play Tasigur. I know Tasigur just gets bounced by Teferi, but we can replay it for 1 mana next turn, and I'm not going to play 2/1 drops into the EE on 1. Do you need to take the breach? I don't. Their Underworld Breach doesn't kill me here. At least not how I'm not seeing that it kills me. It doesn't. It just doesn't go infinite. Like it really feels like they're just playing breach, kind of as a value card. Although they get to double bolt me now. They kill me. They double bolt me. Crack explosives minus Teferi, but I don't think we really had lines that win us the game. Tough stuff. I think the matchup should probably be fine. Sometimes you get really unlucky trying to find, just one land. We still went 3-2. I still do enjoy playing Esper Shadow, so shout out to Panda again for having me play it. One thing I think that maybe you could do is you could maybe just cut the Lurruses and the Baubles. And that might allow you to play like the 20th land, 3rd and 4th Giver of Runes, a Hex Parasite, and then maybe one more piece of interaction, maybe 21 lands. But I kind of feel like you don't need this stuff, And then being able to play 4 Givers seems pretty nice. 'Cause I'm pretty high on Giver. Sideboard also seems fine. You might want like a second copy of something like Disdainful Stroke. I don't think you need the 4th Teferi in the sideboard either. I am pretty excited about Double Kaya too. But those are my thoughts, Panda. I'd probably go -4 Bauble, minus the Lurrus, +2 Givers, +1 land, probably a Silent Clearing. +1 Hex Parasite, and then 1 Flex Spot, 1 interactive card, probably. Tasigur for the Drown. Maybe, I don't think you need it with the discard spells. Maybe you want the third Inquisition as that extra, as that 5th card, though. Sideboard I have like less comments on, because it's hard to comment on, but I think I like the sideboard for the most part. Maybe play... I feel like you don't necessarily need these rejections, and I'm a bit worried about the Titan matchups with this configuration. Maybe play Ashiok over Kaya. I don't know. Kaya's...